welcome everyone to this month's English User Group. So I just want to start on time, just a bit of housekeeping to begin with. So first of all, thank you for coming. Because we felt this was a really important topic, what we've done is that we've also enabled a live stream, so people who couldn't attend, they'll be able to watch over YouTube via the CEPN channel. So it's something that we're trialling, and it's something we're thinking about rolling out more widely later on, just to enable more people to attend. The format would be that the live stream will keep to the front, and they're going to be showing the audience on the live stream. But just for housekeeping, what we'll do is that any questions are asked, we'll just repeat them just for the benefit of anybody watching the live stream, if it's okay. So that's the basic thing. So just by way of introduction, so I'm Osman Bhatti, the GP at Chris Street, and also the IT lead for the STP. Okay, so the format would really focus mainly on the DSP Toolkit, which is relatively new, so that's what we're going to really focus on. So I'll just do an overview of an introduction to start with, and then we'll move into a bit of a demonstration on a test site that we can just work through and have a look at, just generating some Q&A around what people's concerns and expectations are around it. Just to start with, a show of hands around how many people have actually logged in and looked at the new toolkit? So probably about 2/3 of the people here, which is really, really good. Okay, so just by way of introduction, what is it? So it is the replacement for the ID toolkit that you have done previously, and it lets you measure yourself against the national data standards, and essentially all health and social care organisations that participate in handling data must complete it. Why are we doing it? I think the main thing is all about trust, and patients expect data that we have to be looked after in a responsible way, and we want to build on that trust, and this will enable us to measure ourselves against some measures that will bring confidence not only to ourselves but also to people around the data that we hold and that we share. These are just general numbers. This presentation mainly came from NHS Digital, and what they've really done is that they've been working hard with this new toolkit to try and get people engaged with it, get people to have logins across all health and social care sectors. So this really illustrates the fact that there's been a lot of work to try and get all organisations to really sign up and start using the new toolkit. And I'll go through some of the other bits that are highlighted on here as well. The biggest change here is that previously you ranked yourself as having achieved level 1, 2, 3. That's changed, so now it's about achieving a standard. So effectively, it's are you achieving it or are you not achieving it? And at the end of the toolkit, you'll get yes, you've passed, or no, you haven't. So that's basically what we're looking at. We're looking for everybody to move to an agreed standard. And it's aligned with what the national data standards are, and essentially what GDPR requires us to do. Okay, they say it's less onerous. We'll see if it is or not. But certainly, if there's any specific learning that needs to come out of it, we'll be keen to get that feedback, because you'll be the guys who are actually filling it in and working through it. So we really value feedback, mainly via the CSU, to try and get that to feed up and see how we can improve things going forward. The hardest bits, so this will basically tell you what the experience is in terms of what the hardest bits would be. And we'll circulate these slides later, so you don't have to take notes of these now. We've got to ensure that all our staff are trained in terms of information governance, and that's one of the hardest things to really ensure. There's different ways that people have done that by giving their staff incentives to try and complete it early on, but we want to try and make sure that all our staff actually are aware of the governance issues and complete training around that. Understand who's got access to your systems. I think we generally know who's got access to our systems, but we want to try and make sure that that's quite tight. And this is part of what's being talked about, what you might have had information around, which we'll cover later as well, about generic logins. We really need to move away from using generic logins. That will create some process issues within practices, mainly people like reception and temporary staff, but we're looking at trying to develop pathways to get people to have TAL logins quickly so that practices don't run into problems. So there's work being done to try and mitigate against that, but it's something that we're really looking at trying to work through. And also understanding your data flow. So what's happening to your data, where is it going, who's sharing it, and a lot of that has changed, particularly locally across East London. We're doing a lot of data sharing. So there's East London Patient Record, there's the CG that has our data, there's discovery programs, there's lots of people who've got access to the data, and we need to really understand the flows of that. And part of that is the CSU and CCG working together to present to practices. These are the flows that are currently being used from practices, just to make it easy for you to complete the toolkit. So that's where the CCG and CSU can help in terms of providing you some information. So there was some initial discussion that we're still trying to bottom out, mainly via the CSU, to say that rather than practices contacting CSU to say what's our asset register and what are the data flows and what do we need to enter into these sections, that we'll get the CSU to prepare that for each practice to say this is the information that we hold. So these are the assets that we hold and use, so these are the amount of PCs, printers and stuff that you hold, and then you can enter that information into the toolkit rather than you having to ask the CSU. And in a way that would validate the information, so if you find actually you've told us we've got 30 PCs but we've actually got 50, we can just try and then try and find out where that problem is. So
why will they do that?
And that is being worked through. They're just getting that data now. So
is it like end of March, or is it like next week?
No. We're literally working on this. Like yesterday, we kind of yeah.
So I'd be really keen to push the CSU to try and get this.
I'm pushing it and by the end of the month.
Okay, so, and from the IT committee, we'll be pushing people really interested to get that out to you, because you need to complete this by the end of March, so we don't want this to land on your desk on the 30th of March.
Yeah, because the way I see it, the information you guys need, I'm pushing for this. The sooner I get it, the sooner I can give it to you. Because then that responsibility lies with me to make sure that I get that information to you, and then that's done. So I'm pushing for this information to come sooner rather than later, then I can give it to you and you can submit your information.
Can we set a deadline then? I'm just really, I'm pushing the
Okay.
CSU on camera and live, that's being
Some of us
recorded.
would have already submitted, so every day is like.
So, is it realistic to say middle of Feb at the latest?
Dang.
What the CSU IT has said is if
Yeah.
practices are wanting to submit now,
Yeah.
while we're still trying to collect the information for
Yeah.
all practices, they are more than welcome to individually contact the service
Okay.
desk to get the information now.
Okay, so they can do it if they want to complete it
If you
now.
want to do it now, they're
Yeah,
more than welcome
fine.
to call and get the information.
But is it realistic to say mid-Feb? Do you think that's realistic? Just to say, just try and give practice an idea, or is that, you don't want to
Yes. I don't want to say 100%.
So should we say we'll aim? So we'll aim for
Definitely aim for
mid-Feb?
mid-Feb,
Okay.
but as I said to you, for me,
Yeah.
the sooner
So
I
you
get
get
it,
it,
the
okay.
sooner I can give it to you, and I'm like a bull in a china
Yeah.
shop. When I want something, I'll get it done.
Okay, so what we'll probably, if we can take away, we'll say mid-Feb. If we can't get it to you by mid-Feb, by that time we will inform practices as to when you will get it.
But by all means, if you are ready to submit your data, and that's the only bit that's holding you back,
Okay.
please don't wait on us. Like I said to you, I will try and get this information as soon as I can. But if you're ready to submit and it's just that particular bit you're waiting for, ring the help desk, because at the end of the day, they don't want 36 phone calls.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this, so that we're saying to Egton, unless you want 36 phone calls, give us the data as soon as possible. So we are, pushing for this information as soon as we can.
Brilliant. So we'll take that one and certainly work on that. The other thing that we're working on mainly from April is the care group are working on trying to get a single data protection officer, DPO, across all practices. So at the moment, you've all named a DPO or GDPO, you've had to name someone in the practice. There's discussion going on around what's a sensible approach going forward, and the sensible approach going forward would be to have a centralised DPO, and I think that's what the thinking has been, and other CCGs who are forward thinking have done that already and have got practices to agree to that. It is kind of an opt-in process, so we're not mandating that every practice must use a centralised DPO. But it will be better that we have a centralised DPO to actually be that point of reference for practices, and also to offer the support and advice if there's any governance issues or any breaches, that they'll be the port of call who can advise you on what to do. So that's certainly something that we're thinking about doing.
So,
question.
to go back
Yes.
slightly, could you specify what bits you are going to
Yes.
ask the CSU
So
for
when I-
right away?
Yeah.
Just as a list, it doesn't need to be
Absolutely.
verbal now,
Yeah.
but if you say, we will meet this criteria, 6.1,
Yeah.
we're asking for
So
6.2.
once I've
We'll
finished
get-
on the presentation, I'm actually going to go through the assessment. We've got the training version of it, of the DPS assessment. I'm going to go through it and I'm going to tell you guys, this is the bit, it will
But I
say...
want a list at the end,
Me too.
so that I don't, so I'm not going to remember it
We'll
all.
send out...
So a list just going, this is what we're waiting for.
And we will send out, I think I did previously send out an email, but I will resend out an email with all the points that,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know...
so sorry to be pedantic, but like Peter said, literally the points. 1.3.4,
Because,
chill
yeah,
out.
so I will skip
1.3.5,
and do the other bits. I don't want to work on something.
Reasonable ask, so just to reiterate that, so what we will take back is to circulate to practices, the information we will be providing you would be points, this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take that away as an action.
And
Yeah,
last
sorry.
thing, at least the list, could we have that by the end of the week so we don't start cracking on numbers that you're going to be providing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, thank you.
Okay, so we can, so the commitment is that we'll try and get you that list of the things that we will provide for practices by the end of this week. Okay, good, brilliant. And the DPO, GPK group have contacted practices about if you haven't been able to respond to that, please have those discussions in your practice. Particularly, I think Ruth is keen to just get an agreement with the practices who have specified an interest, because then that will be able to, then they'll be able to have a look at what the cost per practice would be. The more practices that will engage with the centralised DPO, the lower the cost it will be for practices. I think the last email that was circulated was that maximum be £1,000 per practice is what we don't want to go above, and more practices, the lower we can bring that figure. So the toolkit is an iterative process because it's new, it's being developed over time, so there will be changes, and I suspect that will happen quite regularly. There's already a consultation out for next year's toolkit as well, so they do want to try and make this work and be quite inclusive. There's lots of things that they're looking at developing, so it's accessible for more people, and you can do things for multiple organisations. There'll also be a public view, so people won't be able to see individual things, but be able to see which organisations are compliant and aren't compliant. I think this is mainly aimed at other organisations, not GP practices, so other people who handle data outside. There's other things that are in development, and we'll hear more about these as time goes on. There will also be an online reporting tool for breaches. At the moment it's very ad hoc, so it will all be able to be done from the system itself rather than you having to work out the SIRI scores individually and then try and see whether the breach is reportable. You'll be able to do this on the actual toolkit itself. There's lots of things that are being developed to make it easier for governance purposes. There's some references that we'll certainly circulate with the presentation if you need some more information.